This is what happens to your body when you quit sugar for 30 days. Did you know that your body can experience some incredible transformations when you decide to kick the sugar habit? That's right. By saying goodbye to that sweet stuff, you can unlock a whole host of amazing benefits, from increased energy levels to improved skin clarity. And in this video, we're going to take a deep dive into exactly what those changes are and how they can positively impact your overall health and well-being. So sit back, relax, and get ready to discover the incredible things that can happen when you ditch the sugar for a month. No. 1. Energy boost. Are you tired of feeling sluggish and drained? Say no more. When you quit sugar, your energy levels can skyrocket within just a few days. That's because sugar causes blood sugar spikes and crashes, leaving you feeling fatigued and in need of a nap. But without sugar, your body will experience a more balanced energy throughout the day, allowing you to tackle your to-do list with ease. In fact, one study found that participants who reduced their sugar intake by 70% reported significantly higher energy levels compared to those who continued consuming sugary foods. So, if you're feeling low on energy, it might be time to cut back on the sweet stuff and see how it affects you. No. To weight loss. If you've been struggling to shed those extra pounds, quitting sugar could be the game changer you've been waiting for. That's because sugar-sweetened beverages and processed foods high in added sugar are often calorie-dense, meaning they pack a lot of calories in a small package. These extra calories can easily add up and contribute to weight gain over time. But when you cut out sugar, you'll be reducing your overall calorie intake and saying no to those unhealthy snacks in between meals. In fact, one study showed that participants who reduced their sugar intake lost an average of 4 pounds or 1.8 kilograms more than those who didn't change their diet. Plus, cutting out sugar can help you curb those pesky cravings and reduce your appetite, making it easier to stick to a weight loss plan. So, if you're ready to slim down, it might be time to consider cutting back on the sugar. No. 3. Improved sleep. Are you tossing and turning at night? Well, your love affair with sugar could be to blame. That's because consuming sugar before bed can cause your blood sugar levels to spike, which can make it harder to fall asleep and stay asleep. But when you quit sugar, your body will produce less insulin, which regulates blood sugar levels, leading to a more restful night's sleep. In fact, one study found that reducing sugar intake improved sleep quality and reduced insomnia symptoms in overweight individuals. So, if you're struggling to catch some shut-eye, it might be time to consider cutting back on the sweet stuff. No. 4. Healthier skin. If you've got acne, wrinkles, or other skin concerns, quitting sugar could be the natural remedy you've been searching for. That's because consuming too much sugar can cause inflammation throughout the body, including the skin, leading to breakouts and other complexion woes. But when you cut back on sugar, your body will produce less insulin, which can help reduce inflammation and promote clearer, smoother skin. Plus, quitting sugar can also help you achieve a healthy weight, which can make skin problems like acne even less noticeable. In fact, one study found that reducing sugar intake led to significant improvements in skin health and quality. So if you're looking to achieve a natural, healthy glow, it might be time to consider cutting back on the sugar. No. 5. Stronger bones. Did you know that consuming too much sugar can actually weaken your bones? That's right. When you consume sugar, your body produces more insulin, which can lead to increased excretion of calcium through your urine. This can result in decreased bone density and an increased risk of fractures. However, when you quit sugar, your body will produce less insulin, leading to stronger bones and a lower risk of fractures. One study found that reducing sugar intake by 75% led to an increase in bone mineral density in postmenopausal women. Additionally, quitting sugar can also help you achieve a healthy weight, which can put less stress on your bones and joints. So, if you want to keep your bones strong and healthy, it might be time to consider cutting back on the sweet stuff. No. 6. Improved mood. If you've been feeling down lately, quitting sugar could be the mood boost you need. That's because consuming sugar can cause blood sugar spikes and crashes, which can affect your mood and leave you feeling irritable or depressed. But when you cut back on sugar, your body will experience more stable blood sugar levels, leading to a more balanced mood and increased feelings of happiness and well-being. In fact, one study found that reducing sugar intake improved symptoms of depression and anxiety in overweight adults. So, if you're feeling blue, it might be time to consider cutting back on the sugar and seeing how it affects your mood. No. 7. Reduced risk of heart disease. If you're concerned about your heart health, quitting sugar should definitely be on your radar. That's because consuming too much sugar can lead to high blood pressure, inflammation, and obesity, all of which can increase your risk of developing heart disease. But when you cut back on sugar, you'll be reducing your risk of developing these potentially harmful conditions and giving your heart a much-needed break. In fact, one study found that reducing sugar intake by just 10 led to a 14% reduction in the risk of developing heart disease. So, if you want to protect your heart, it might be time to consider cutting back on the sweet stuff. No. 8. Improved brain function. If you're looking to boost your brain power, quitting sugar could be the key. That's because consuming too much sugar can lead to brain fog, memory problems, and difficulty concentrating. But when you cut back on sugar, you'll be providing your brain with the clarity and focus it needs to stay sharp and perform at its best. In fact, one study found that reducing sugar intake improved cognitive performance and reduced brain fog in overweight adults. So, if you're looking to give your brain a boost, it might be time to consider cutting back on the sugar. Number 9. Reduced risk of type 2 diabetes. If you're concerned about your risk of developing type 2 diabetes, quitting sugar should definitely be on your to-do list. That's because consuming too much sugar can lead to insulin resistance, which is a hallmark of type 2 diabetes. But when you cut back on sugar, you'll be reducing your risk of developing this chronic condition and keeping your blood sugar levels in check. In fact, one study found that reducing sugar intake by 75 led to a 64% reduction in the risk of developing type 2 diabetes. So, if you're worried about your risk of diabetes, it might be time to consider cutting back on the sweet stuff. Number 10. Increased discipline and self-control. We mentioned earlier how sugar can affect your mood and lead to cravings and irritability. But did you know that cutting back on sugar can actually help you develop more self-control and discipline? When you decide to quit sugar, you're essentially training your brain to resist cravings and make healthier choices. And as you continue to push through those cravings and stick to your goals, you'll start to build more discipline and self-control in other areas of your life as well. In fact, one study found that reducing sugar intake was associated with improvements in self-control and impulse inhibition. So, if you're looking to boost your self-control and discipline, it might be time to consider cutting back on the sugar. So there you have it, folks. Those are just a few ways that quitting sugar can benefit your body. It may not be easy, but the results are definitely worth it. So why not give it a try and see what happens? Just remember to do it gradually and safely, and consult with your healthcare provider if you have any underlying health conditions. And hey, if you're looking for some extra support and guidance, there are plenty of resources available to help you on your journey. So don't wait another minute. Start taking control of your health and well-being today and say goodbye to that sweet tooth for good.